Maintenance. The Acer here really doesn't require any great maintenance. If you get a dead branch or something, oh, there's one there, look, just snip it off. Generally it'll look after itself, so don't worry about it too much, just keep it well watered. The heucheras, there are several in your garden. After flowering, cut the flowers off, nice and simple as that. Over time, new leaves come up from the crown and come up through, and the older leaves die back. They start turning yellow and sort of brown colours. What you can do is, can be a little unsightly, so just snip those off. And that's as simple as, or as complicated as you need to get with respect to the heucheras. With the lavender, after they've finished flowering, which they are currently doing, they're coming towards the end of, or if you've got a broken flower and stuff, just give it a little trim back. Ideally, you're cutting it back to this height. You don't want to cut into the old wood, just to keep the shape of it, cut back into this year's growth and take it back to this sort of height. This is a leucanthemum. I've deadheaded it already, taking it back to just under the flowers. That'll then help it basically do a reflower. Actually, I think that's a salvia. With the boxes, actually it's not box, they're ilex. To keep the shape, pair of secateurs, very nice, just methodically give them a little prune now and again, just to keep that shape. A lot of the growth happens at the top, and can be quite quick, but it don't take much to get it back into shape. A little bit of pruning, and these will slowly grow over time in size, so you want to keep them nice. Maybe give them a more thorough prune once or twice a year, just to keep the size under control. But during the main growing season, just snip them to be tidy. Hydrangeas, deadhead them. I'm going to deadhead one over there. As they flower, ideally you support the heads. You can see the flowers are so large, so some sort of support around it. This one's got canes on and a bit of string around just to stop them flopping over. Like this one over here. You can see it isn't mature enough yet to support its own weight, so these flowers are actually so large that it pulls it down. So a little bit of support around will help, or you can buy the hoops from garden centres, which will also help. That after flowering, give them a good prune down. I'd prune them probably to about here. The anemones, there's some here. They'll flower from this time, sort of August, September, through to sort of late November, depending on how warm it is, etc. After flowering, give them a cut down to about here. The grass will get tall over time. I would leave that through the winter. It will go brown, but it'll be kind of nice and architectural. Leave the little flowers on through the winter, and then in the spring when it starts to warm up, give it a chop about here. These leucanthemums I gave a prune to, so they've done their first flowering. I've chopped them back down. That should hopefully encourage some more flowers to come this season. This gaura is not looking very healthy. Seem to get absolutely blasted by the sun, but they are pretty strong characters. I'm just going to prune this a little bit back a bit. I've got one that's in a pot outside my house and look very similar now. It's absolutely flowering away like nothing affected it. So we'll see how that goes. I do have a general policy that if a plant dies in the first year, I replace it. We've got a hydrangea over here, which is towards the end of flowering. So once again, I will cut back to a couple of leaf nodes. It helps give it structure and strength in some respects, pruning them back. Don't let them get too leggy, otherwise they're like tall and weak. You want them to create good, strong stems to take the weight of these huge blooms that come out on them. So that one is tidied up nicely. All right. As with all the perennials in here, if you deadhead them, you're going to get more flowers. The reasoning is that the plant wants to try and create seed, and in creating, basically taking off the old flower head, it hasn't created seed, so it'll do more flowers. So that's the general concept behind it. So deadhead when the flower has gone over. So now how do you choose what is a flower gone over? We can generally tell by the type of plant. So on the Guillaume, this is a flower gone over. You can see it's like a little fluffy ball. That's a flower that's coming to the end of life. This is a flower about to come out. That one there is in full flower, and that's a bud of a new flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back to the leaf node here. That'll help encourage it. I'm going to leave that one on for now. It's not quite to the point it's worth taking off. Got something there. In fact, I mean, I have deadheaded these. I'm going to take that one back. I'm going to take that off there and that one off there. There's some leaves here, so that will regenerate, and the rest looks pretty all right. The heuchera here, there's some of these are a little bit whitish almost, so this lime colour. So I just prune those off. We got the scabiosis here now. With these, the flower heads, trying to find one. So that's obviously nice full flower. These are new flower buds. You can see the sort of pattern. That's a new one as well. So that hasn't gone over yet. In fact, I'm struggling to see one that has actually gone over. Ah, there's one. So this one here, that's a finished flower. Similar to the Guillaume, you can see how it's like a little fluffy ball. So deadhead those off, and it encourages more flowers. I have seen these flowering in December, so you know it's worth encouraging them to make the most. I deadheaded this couple of days ago, and suddenly we got this new rush, and a whole rush of new flowers coming along. The crocosmia in the back here is coming to the end of its sort of flowering season. It's a little bit shorter than some of these other plants. These are a seed pod, so it's gone from this flower to seed pod, so I would just prune that off. I'm going to leave these on. Ultimately, as the flowers die off, they'll die up like that, but they've still got some colour and some new flowers coming along, so it's still got some life in it yet. So it's worth taking the seed heads off for now. If you don't like the brown, I mean, it will naturally look after itself, but you can just prune the brown leaves off. and the Rudbeckia in the centre. Now I did deadhead this a little while ago. So you got the current flowers, which are doing pretty well. You've got a new flower there about to come out, and you've got some really baby ones, you know, starting to develop. Once it starts losing petals or starts looking a bit misshapen, a bit like that one, you know, possibly a little earlier, but to take that off, but we'll take it off. Once they look a bit very rough, then take them off. It will encourage it to flower more. The more you do, the more joy you get. Now the Lirope is quite a late flower. You can see the flowers about starting to develop here. They'll come up in a while. So once it's finished flowering, you can cut the flowers off. Just tidy up any damaged leaves, you know, give it a bit of a prune down, but generally it doesn't need a lot of work. I generally don't touch much at all. Same with this grass. I tend to comb out any dead ones or any brown a snip off, but generally they'll look after themselves. This will start cascading over. They can get a little untidy at times. Just keep an eye on them. If we come over here, now this geranium, nice sun worshipper, but also doesn't mind the shade. You can see a lot of these old flower heads. It's worth snipping these back, one, to keep it tidy, but two, it yet again encourages more flowers. So just spend a bit of time deadheading it. I think I deadheaded this a week or so ago. There's a new flowers coming through. You can tell those are sort of old ones because they've got the sort of tongue sticking out. So hopefully that encourages some more flowers. These have quite a long flowering season, so I would expect to see a lot more on it over time. Anemone, you've got fern in the back, yet again another Lirope with its little flowers coming up. We've got salvia in the centre. I've deadheaded that. That should do a second flush of these purple flowers coming up. And then basically prune that down at the end of the season. What we got here? We got the lavender. The lavender's almost gone over. It's still got a little bit more life in it. I'd leave it for now, and then basically I would prune it about here. You could literally gather it up in your hand and go bang. The crocosmia, it's doing nice. I think we'll take that off. And the leucanthemum now, this was really looking rough. I gave it a good prune and it's bounced back with some beautiful flowers, which are starting to go over a little bit. Yet again, when the flower gets really rough or dies right back, you'll see it being quite a horrible colour, then I would cut it back probably to about there. Yet again, scabiosis is that the same over there. Whirling butterfly, which is like the one down there. This all has these beautiful little floaty flowers which come up. I just deadhead them a little bit, but don't take the stem off because actually it flowers and grows at the same time. So the flowers come out, but this thing carries on growing. So these are future flowers up here. So you don't want to snip this off. You want to almost pick off the flowers from lower down, and then at the end of the season give it a prune down to here. They can be a bit fickle about coming back next year. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I haven't quite worked out the key to that, why they do and don't. In February, So these will remain basically evergreen through the winter. In February, you'll start to see them die back. These will start going brown. They'll start basically falling down. Now, people often think, oh, they're dying. Actually, they're doing their regeneration at that point in time. So they'll die back, and you'll get new growth coming up from the centre. So as they become brown and they start falling down, you just need to snip them off. I generally leave them on through February into March just to protect the crown from any unforeseen snowfall, stuff like that. So it's worth keeping it on for a period of time, and then the new fronds will start coming up, and when they start coming up, the plant kind of feels it's the right time for new leaves. So that's a good time to, good indicator to do a prune down. As I say, these are suited for this quite harsh environment underneath these fir trees, so they have been specifically chosen for that. Grass will die back in certain areas. I would just snip those out, like here. You could give them a brutal sort of cut down, but I would try to be a little bit more surgical about it, just so you can keep the greenness going. This hedge is planted. As it grows up, I would say towards the end of the year, give it a little trim at the top, try and even it out. Ultimately, you want to try and get this into a sort of nice topiary shape. This can be pruned well and get that nice sort of squareness to it over time. It's going to take a little time to develop, but it will eventually get there.